Back when I was a kid, I got the first taste of the internet from my mom's laptop, which got me into YouTube. And back then, I was only on YouTube. So I got my own laptop for Christmas. And now, with the internet completely in my hands, I could see more than just Mario calling Luigi gay.
Stop calling me gay.
Like Steam, Reddit, unfortunately, or Twitter, or is it X? Who cares? I pretty much grew up terminally online. But don't worry, I've touched grass. And I've never used Discord. I mean, I have an account, but it just sits there and collects dust. See, I have some standards. I had complete unsupervised internet access, and I mean completely unsupervised. To cut straight to the point, I saw a lot of f***ed up shit in my youth. You can thank Reddit for that, but I would also watch a lot of horror content on YouTube, which was my bread and butter, such as ones that went over true crimes and tragic events, as morbid curiosity was a cruel mistress. And even outside of YouTube, I would watch horror films and play horror games like the original Silent Hill. It was one of the only few horror games that legit scares me and not its overrated sequel. But unfortunately, as years gone by, with seeing so much from the medium of movies and games, I've become a bit desensitized to this kind of stuff. And while horror is subjective, I do find mainstream to be boring. I'm quite hard to scare now. No amount of blood or gore. Unless it's real gore, you can blame Plague Moth for that. Creepy ghost girls, shadow people, or insert any mascot horror character here, and the world can get a scare out of me. But the only thing that comes remotely close is scary music. And I guess Wasp. And if I really want to stretch it, jump scares. But that shouldn't count because, like, no shit, I jump at jump scares. Who wouldn't get startled by an abrupt eardrum shattering JPEG? I would talk about how movies and games rely on them too much these days, but that has already been talked a dime a dozen. However, there was one piece of medium that still genuinely unnerves me. One that no matter how much I try to consume, it still creeps me out. And it all started with this abomination, and many of its kind. Images. But, more importantly, creepy images, which I find to be the creepiest medium, more so than the rest. Now, why do I find images particularly scary? Well, to be 100% honest with you, I don't really know why. I think it's due to the fact that images don't move. At least with horror films and games, the terror is not on screen all the time, and due to the fact that it moves. It kind of softens the terror for me as I know how it moves and what it does, and the mystery kind of dies. Which to me, horror is intensified when it's mysterious and unpredictable. But with images, you have to stare it straight in the face. What else are you supposed to do with an image? Because of its still nature, images tend to look creepier, then upscale from 0 to 100 when your mind tries to fill in the blanks. Since images don't move, you don't really know the context behind what is even happening on screen. So your brain tries to think of what is actually happening and the fear what it might do to you. Your brain is your biggest friend. It's also your biggest enemy. And it will use your deepest and most personal fears to bend and twist an already unsettling thing into an even greater image of horror to burn into your memory. I also don't find all images scary. I don't particularly find cursed images creepy or eerie at all. I mostly find them to be a little humorous. I mean, they were always supposed to be a bit funny. But some people do find them scary and tend to LARP them in with other creepy images. I also don't think that liminal spaces are particularly scary either. In fact, I find them more intriguing, with the whole backrooms thing being one of my favorite modern day horror cultures. You know, before the internet does what it does best, and ruins everything. Images that I find scary would usually be things that rationally scare anyone, like creepy dolls, animals, or even real world tragedies. But then you got the more specific things, like the past mentioned abomination. Simply only known as dollthing.jpg. I remember when I first came across this image from the whole Anna Barbara's Genocide controversy that was happening, which then got me into its creepypasta Gurgles and Bugman. It's okay. And during that time, while it was a well-known image, lately it has really spiked in the popularity, much to my dismay, and that can be blamed on 3 factors. 1, those stupid as fuck Mr. Incredible becoming Gandhi shit. 2, lost media people trying to find the origins of the image, which they did. And 3, and finally, internet horror related content just generally becoming more popular in the late 2010s. The whole thing is an infamous image in my case. That's because this freak actually gave me nightmares. And even looking at it still makes me uncomfortable. And even though it might sound a bit cliche to say, but this video was hard for me to make because of how much these images scare me. And I had this image on my hard drive ever since my SpongeBob video. Every time I open my image folder, I see this cracked out schoolgirl staring at me. I'm not even exaggerating, this image is like my brain's go-to thing when I'm feeling unnerved. When I'm alone in the dark, I think of it. When I'm just completely alone, I think of it. Hell, when I see Wasp, I think of it. Now, it's not the only image that gave me nightmares, but that will come soon. As of right now, Dollthing is the king, or queen, of my trauma. But it's not the only creepypasta related image to unease me. The secondary honor would go to Teddy. This stuffed children's toy scares me more than actual bears. Well, maybe besides from sun bears. I would rather be in the middle of the forest in India wearing a tiger costume in front of an agitated mother sloth bear than step a single foot near that thing. And the third place honor would go to Billy from Liars. A kid named Billy who was a Sigma male who had a bunch of goons come by and fucked him up, and then he kills them, with this image being the photo he took during the killing. While this picture is definitely creepy, it has always jump scared me when it appears. But my younger self doesn't have to fret, as this Jeff the Killer ripoff, which by the way, every time I think of the Jeff the Killer image, I think of a catfish, is not real, as it was taken from the cover from a band named Liars. I've listened to some of their music, it's not bad. I quite like Mr. You're on Fire, Mr. and Plaster Cast of Everything. Another two I would LARP together would be Victim Number 1 from the Mario ARG and Smile Dog. When it comes to Smile Dog, you'd think I would find the corrupted one to be the scarier of the two, but nope. I find the first image to be the scarier. And as for this deep fried redness, it always made me look the other way when it appeared in the Love of My Life top list videos. Now over time, the creep factor for this image died out for me, and it's not for any particular reason, I just kinda stopped finding it scary. In fact, I tend to find the original unedited version to be scarier than the edited one. That's mainly due to the fact that a crime reminds me of It Shall Not Be Named. Now, of course, many of these pasta-related images are mostly taken from other sources or just Frankenstein from other art pieces. So what about original haunting images? Or more so, haunted paintings? Many paintings also have an uneasiness to them, like the controversial Ivan the Terrible Kills His Son, which shows the Tsar of Russia mending to his son which he just stabbed in the head, allegedly, as there is no true answer of how Ivan's son actually died. But man, those eyes. With so much pain, panic, fear, and regret. Eyes are like the defining feature what makes an image scary for me. They are the make or break. Maybe because they show so much emotion, I don't know. All I know is that they are the creepiest part of the human body. Like the painting Saturn Devouring His Son, made by the Spanish artist Goya. During a time where his life and health were on a rapid decline, painting scenes that were twisting and turning constantly in his mind, which ended up with this display of terror. Now, of course, this painting does tend to be used a lot as a meme, but it doesn't take away from the piece, especially when you look further down the events in Goya's life that led up to this painting. Check out this video from the canvas for more detail, link would be in the description below. Regardless of what the true meaning of the painting represents, this image is a scary self-reflection. Self-reflections from the people who went through such horrible trauma can turn out even more traumatizing art, such as the one I mentioned earlier, a specific picture that used to haunt me, that picture being I Cannot Be a Bride Anymore, by Yoko Tetsushima. I remember seeing this painting in a lot of top list videos, mainly being about creepypastas and or urban legends, which this painting was used in a story of Tomino's Hell, which could be a story for another day. But I remember seeing this for the first time, immediately exiting the video and avoiding anyone that had it in their thumbnail. Then to make things worse, I've had nightmares about it, which I was in like an abandoned school-like building. I was walking down the halls and then I see it. The thing stretches its long neck towards me, but before anything else could happen, I wake up. I still remember that dream to this day, as I was so scared after that I couldn't go back to sleep. But as time went on, I also lost my fear of this image. I don't find it scary anymore, instead I'm quite mesmerized by it. There's a bit of an eerie beauty to it, and with the backstory of the artist and what she had to go through, I can't help but feel sorrow when I look at it now. Sometimes trauma and photographic pictures can go hand in hand, like the photo capture of Blanche Monnier, a once beautiful, happy, lovesick lady turned into a mentally scarred victim from her horrible abusive mother, Louise, who locked her away all because her daughter wanted to marry a commoner by her standards. Even though I find this image greatly disturbing and hard to look at, it doesn't take away from the fact that what she went through was truly sickening, and now this photo will forever be her legacy. But hey, at least her mother got what she deserved. Wow, this video is getting quite dark, so let's slightly lighten up the mood by talking about an extremely deadly force of nature that destroys homes and lives. That being tornadoes! More importantly, old vintage photos of tornadoes. Tornado images by themselves are already pretty creepy. A large funnel of wind and clouds that touch the ground, destroying everything in its path is already scary enough. That scare factor is amplified when it's in black and white. I don't know why these old vintage pictures of tornadoes creep me out. Maybe it has to do with the fact that the black and white really do make them look more dangerous than what they already are. It turns an already frightening sight into an eerie one. It also helps the fact that these images do really bring out the detail of the twister, while also obscuring them into this giant black funnel of destruction. Old photos in general tend to make images far creepier. It's like the lake Charache, I think I definitely butchered that, in Russia, with this blood-red lake and eerie factory in the background. Somehow this photo managed to make a building of all things look intimidating. I mean, yeah, that building is the sole reason why this lake is red in the first place. And while these old photos make for some eerie atmosphere, they still also hold a strange beauty to them. Which that I could say the same about images in general. They're creepy, they stay in your mind, and your mind uses that information against you, with natural, unknown, created, or tragic origins. So, yeah, that's it. Jump scare.